What is going on, everyone? Welcome back. I want to say welcome back, but I guess welcome to the first football show, but welcome back to the Best Bet Show. I'm excited. I'm your host, Matty Chucks, with my co-host, Austin's Props. Austin, there's a football in your light, baseball, football, basketball. Are you excited for football or what?
It's here, man. It is here. Everyone's been waiting for it. We've been waiting for it. Cannot wait, man. Super excited for Thursday.
Yeah,
How about yourself?
I'm good. I want to go like all in, but I also know that it's the first game / first week. So I'm trying to find the line of not being excited, overexcited, and also just being smart and kind of waiting because you don't want to go all in first week and kind of not even have anything to work off of and kind of dig yourself out of a hole the next few weeks.
Right.
Um, but the first game is awesome. When I first saw the first game was Chiefs Lions, I was kind of like, it's kind of a weak game to have first, but now that we're here, I love it. It's like a team that's trying to surprise some people, not surprise, but prove that they do belong. And the defending champs, we do have a couple injuries and things like that, but should be a good game. I thought that Chiefs -6.5 was the biggest trap ever. To be honest, I thought it was the biggest public trap. They were just going to say everyone who just re-downloaded their sports books were going to say, "Hey, Chiefs by a touchdown." Lock of the century. And I was kind of leaning the Lions. But now the spread's moving. I don't know.
Yeah, it's at 4.5 now, and obviously that's with Kelsey being likely not playing. I feel like he probably does suit up, just knowing like him as a player, but even with that, how effective is he going to be out there? You know what I mean? So at 4.5 right now, I have no idea which side I would touch personally. 6.5, I probably would have leaned the Lions. And I think the media is kind of starting to give the Lions their flowers. They're expecting big things. So I do think there's some pressure build up that team might feel, so I'm interested to see how that looks as well.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how they come out hot. Again, that division that we talked about is very tough, the Lions division. So if they want to show that they can compete and be the favorites to win that division, which they are, they got to put up a good showing against the Chiefs. Um, not necessarily win, but I think they got to kind of prove it. Everyone's watching this game. This is where you make people believers or non-believers.
Right.
And the spread is going their way. And how much of that is Kelsey? Does Kelsey really warrant what was that 2-point swing? I don't really know. It might be a little bit of overreaction, but I do think the Chiefs win this game, but I don't think they cover. Obviously that depends on where the line finishes. But it should be a fun one. I'm expecting some fireworks. I think it's a little bit high scoring. But we can just go talk about the picks that we both have played so far and then talk about some previews for this weekend as well. I do apologize, guys. It'd be a better video with more in-depth picks if I was not getting married this weekend. So that's on me. Week 2, we will get everything back to normal and get our show back on the road. So bear with me on that. First up, we have Jahmyr Gibbs, over 3.5 receptions. We both played this individually, and we love it for the show. We do think that it's a great target. Obviously, the Chiefs were one of the worst teams to, playing defense to that short throw to the running back. Allowed the most receptions out of any team to running backs and a lot of yards as well. And Jahmyr Gibbs is kind of that wild card. We don't really know how he's going to play, but their coach has been talking. I think offensive coordinator, I think Campbell, I think all of them have said that they're excited to see how they're going to use him in a versatile way. People are speculating that could be a wide receiver role every now and then, which would be obviously great for us. But I think either way, 3.5 receptions seems like a good number for us. If you want to add on to that, go ahead.
Yeah, and I mean, rookies are tough to project, obviously. You haven't seen them, but obviously they used a top pick to get him, so you expect him to be involved. I also have heard that they're lining him up at the slot receiver a lot as well, so that would be awesome if we get some routes ran out of there. And I mean, DeAndre Swift last season was one of the top pass catching backs or in targets last season with Jared Goff. So that role's open, wide open. Jahmyr Gibbs inserts in, and he's probably a better pass catcher than DeAndre Swift is. So you just expect a good target share from him. And I mean, I'm buying into the hype. You know what I mean? I saw him in college. He showed he's one of the most elite pass catchers in the rookie class. Why not come out game 1, grab 4 catches for us, probably 50 yards, rush for 25, 30, and have a great first game?
I agree. I think he showed it. They're ready. I think they wouldn't be talking about him as much if they weren't as excited. I don't think this is like a, oh, let's just fake throw this media fake up here and see if they fall for it. I think they're just very excited for the kid. And with their suspension to a receiver and just overall, I think thin wide receiver core besides St. Brown, I think that he's going to be more involved in general. And hopefully they implement that week one. That would
Right.
be the hope. Um,
Yeah. Well, and
we
they don't have they have Sam Laporta playing tight end, who we haven't seen him either now that Hawkinson's gone. And David Montgomery has shown that he's kind of just a 1 and 2 down back where he's just going to pound up the middle. He's not a great pass catcher. He's not terrible, but I think it's pretty solid that Jahmyr Gibbs is going to get those touches.
I agree. I agree. I like his yards as well, but I think receptions is just as safe of a play. He could get there in fewer catches or more catches. I think he could have 5 catches on Thursday night. Going to our second play, you posted this individually as well. Pacheco over 49.5 rush yards on DK. I know your prize picks line was 50.5, but some books, different numbers, 52.5, 50.5, 49.5. Talk us through why you like Pacheco on Thursday night.
Yeah, really like this one. I think it's more of a safer play for a week one play. We've said all along, KC has a ton of uncertainties at wide receiver. Sky Moore, MVS, Richie James. They just have a lot of guys, and we don't really know which one's going to be the guy that's going to get the snap share, And now with Travis Kelce's uncertainties, there's just so much going on, so many moving parts. Is Kadarius Toney going to play? So for me, I was just trying to go with the safest play. Detroit 27th in run defense last season. They didn't really do a ton to fix that. I mean, they drafted a middle linebacker with their first pick. So that obviously will help, but 49.5 yards for a guy that's going to see 12 to 15 carries just feels low. He went over in 8 of his last 9 games last season, so they bumped his usage up and he saw a ton of success. And their only other option back there is Clyde Edwards-Helaire, who in the final 3 games last season, he saw 0, 5, and 9 yards. So he only got like 2 carries max in all 3 of those games. So it just seems like a spot where he's clearly RB1. And you could argue he's probably their best skilled position player if Kelce doesn't play going in there on Thursday. So I just like the spot at 49.5 yards.
I like it a lot. I think he has really just put himself as the running back one. I think McKinnon's more of the pass catching back. Pacheco can sneak as well. They like to use a little trickery there. You don't think McKinnon's not in the game, they're not going to throw to Pacheco. But I think as their workhorse running back, it's Pacheco by a mile. And I think that as the year goes on and maybe years go on, it becomes more apparent week by week that he's just the workhorse dog running back. Like I just think that that's who he is. I watched him over at Rutgers down the street as well. Love the guy. Postseason was huge for them, and I think he might need one big run to break this. I think he'll get enough carries. I think you have a chance where he rushes for 15, 20 yards and easily kind of goes over this. Also, if they do have a lead late in the game, which most people, are going to say, oh, Lions, blah, blah, blah. But Vegas is still having them as a favorite. So end of game scenario too could get some bonus touches to kind of get you over the hump as well. So I like the number. I think it's a good number against the bad run defense until they show otherwise. So those are the 2 plays, 2 running backs here, 2 different style plays, Jahmyr Gibbs and Pacheco, the 2 plays for this Thursday night. Now we would have more plays for this weekend, as we said, but my wedding and also lines really aren't even up yet for some reason. I don't know why, but we're going to go into the 3 closest spread games and just give our feel for how we think the game is going to go. We have the Packers and the Bears. Packers at +1, +1.5 on FanDuel. I actually played that as an official play myself. I think the Packers are a better team. I think their 1-2 punch is so good. I think the Bears defense is literally bottom 3 in the league. I think that Jordan Love, all he has to do is be decent. I think they come over with this victory. I like the Justin Fields hype. I like that he's going to come out of his shell this year, but I think that's more of an individual success rather than a team success. So I'm on the Packers. I want to know your thoughts before we move on to the next one.
I actually like it. I'm personally not on the Justin Fields hype as much. I just think the whole media is jumping on oh, we were wrong about Lamar Jackson. Oh, we were wrong about Jalen Hurts. Let's be right about Justin Fields. You know what I mean? Because he wasn't that good last season. Like he didn't show the same progression that Jalen Hurts or Lamar Jackson did as a passer last season, in my opinion. So I don't think the Bears are going to be that good. I actually really like the Packers at +1.5. I think it's going to be a really close game. And if Justin Fields comes out and balls out, good for him. Then everyone was right. You know what I mean? So it's a good spot, but I think the Packers super sneaky.
Yeah, I appreciate you backing that play as well. We're gonna go to another 3-point line. The Chargers -3 at home versus the Dolphins. I think I'm thinking another dog. I think I like the Dolphins +3. I just hate the Chargers, man. Like
Yeah.
they could be up 20 and I would still not be comfortable. And they could cruise past this game. I don't know how Tua's gonna play. I don't know how the Dolphins will be. But I think the Dolphins are a better team than the Chargers overall. If you want to do the week one worry of the quarterback situation, you could take the Chargers, but the plus money in the Dolphins is kind of intriguing. I don't have a play on it, but that's kind of where my mind's going.
Yeah. I mean, I think both quarterbacks have a ton to prove this season. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Justin Herbert, I know I've been critical of, not off his skill, but just on the fact that they haven't won with him, and you can blame whoever you want, but they just haven't. That playoff game was a disaster. And the Dolphins, I mean, Tua's health is obviously his biggest concern. +3, I think it could go either way. I think I lean the Chargers to win the game, but not confident on the spread enough to play it personally.
Yeah. I This game is huge for both teams, I think, as both teams are in tough divisions and
Right.
they both need some wins, especially out of division. They need their wins in the division, obviously, but this is a game you both teams want to come back with a win from. Speaking of another, this is not that was not a divisional game, but this one is. This is the biggest divisional game I think in terms of how important it is in all of week one. It could be Jets, Bills, and then this one could be one or two as well. It's Bengals, Browns. Um, Again, we talked about this on our futures show where any team, the Bengals, the Ravens, or the Browns, even a wild card Steelers team can come out and maybe win this division. Tough division, usually is, but this is such an important game. Joe Burrow, is his health 100%? Probably not. Um, I think I'm on the Bengals to win the Super Bowl as my value play, but I think week one, I may lean the Browns at home, get that home dog. I don't like the 2.5. I'd probably buy a half a point to 3, but this game is super tough for me. I think the answer would be clear and easy after. Like, why didn't I just do that? But before, it's my hands are tied. I can't decide.
No, I totally agree. And I think this year more than any other, there's so many of those quarterbacks that had been good, but they had a bad year or they didn't do what they were supposed to do. And so you're sitting there wondering like what to expect. And that's what like Watson, I'm big on this year. I think he's gonna have a really good year. I think he's gonna come out and show who he is as a quarterback, but he hasn't done that yet. So like you can
Yeah.
think what you want until it happens or it doesn't. You don't really know. So I think this is gonna be a really fun game. I think it's probably the most hyped game of the weekend, honestly. You could argue, obviously, the Monday night game, but
It
re- really
It's
like it.
it's crazy because both these teams then go again and play again. So next week, the Browns play the Steelers on Monday night in Pittsburgh, and the Bengals are home versus the Ravens. So both these 2 weeks can literally just make or break. It seems like the season for these teams, and this game should be so much fun to watch. If you're watching games, this is on your TV. You hit the lottery. I think this is one of the most exciting, one of the most exciting games on the slate. Um, but yeah, I think I think if you go all three dogs on these three games, you probably come out positive. I think two of the three may win, two of the three may cover.
Yeah.
Um, but that's basically it. Again, we'll have more of a setup for next week. Just a little run through. We have Jahmyr Gibbs over 3.5 receptions, Pacheco over 49.5 rush yards. I'm on the Packers, and we talked about these games going forward. Give us a like, subscribe, give us a comment. Week 2, we'll be back with a little bit of a sample size as well. Best of luck on your bets this week. We'll catch you guys next time.